Just hit my knee. We treat a lot of herniated discs. I'm pretty sure we treat more herniated discs than anybody, and we treat them successfully. And with that, we treat more sciatica. Number one cause of sciatica is the herniated disc. And we treat very, very, very large herniated discs. And they can go away. And there are lessons that we have learned that I want to share these lessons with you, because this is about eliminating herniated discs. This is also about helping you understand that these problems can go away. You do not physically have to live with a herniated disc. There is a way out. It's not easy. That's the truth. But there is a way out. And we know what that way is. And part of why we know what that way is because I lived through it. I lived through it. I had a severely degenerated disc and a herniated disc, and I was able to get better. A lot of people already know that, but I want to share that with you. Okay, I was a back pain sufferer. Bad. For 10 years it was bad. Typical spine looks like this. There's 24 vertebrae between the head and the hips. The vertebrae are the bones. In between each bone there's a disc. The disc allows for motion. Also, the disc allows for enough room between each vertebrae for a nerve to exit directly off of the spinal cord that runs through the inside of the spine. Now, these nerves exit through the foramen, and very often what happens is the nerves get pinched. It can cause you a lot of back pain, but also can cause you a lot of trouble in your legs, sciatica. Disc is a lot like a jelly donut in the sense that the outside of the disc, there's a thick material. We call that the annulus. Inside the disc, there's a jelly-like substance that moves around. Under wear and tear and stress and abnormal loads and too much bending and too much sitting, what happens is the annulus starts to get weaker and the nucleus starts to push out. And as the annulus gets weaker and the nucleus pushes out, it creates a bulging disc. What happens is the nucleus pushes out and the disc starts to push out. And that disc, as it starts to push out, creates a bulge. Looks kind of like this, nucleus pushing out, but what happens is you can get more tearing of the annulus. And as the annulus tears more, what happens over time is it'll start to push out. And that nucleus will push out further, creating a herniated disc. And sometimes what happens is the annulus can tear all the way through. That's called an extrusion. And when that happens, the nucleus will push all the way out into the spinal canal. So there's different types of herniated discs. Sometimes they're very small, sometimes they're very large, and sometimes what happens is they'll break off. They'll push out and break off. That's called a sequestration. So there's different types of herniated discs. We treat all the herniated discs. We treat the small ones, and we treat the very, very big ones, and the very severe ones, and they do go away. They can go away. If you put forth the effort and time, they can go away. This patient came to see us in 2008, 10 years ago. Had a severe back problem. The years go fast. Too fast, probably. Herniated disc, 15 millimeters, 1.5 centimeters, if not more, maybe 15 to 17. Had it for 5 years, suffered with it, had stopped going on vacations, consulted surgeons, everybody said he needed surgery, didn't want to have surgery. Came in to see us 5 years after he started suffering with his herniated disc. So he had it for 5 years. Came to see us, went through the program, he got better. 2 lessons here. Lesson number 1, very large herniated discs can get better, even if you've had them for a long time. That's actually 2 lessons right there. There's a 3rd lesson. And this is the most important lesson is, his took 53 treatments. If you've been suffering for a long time, it takes time to get better. They don't get better overnight, but they do get better. Another patient came to see us. Massive herniated disc. You can see it right here. Boom. in the spinal canal. That's called the extrusion. That's where the nucleus had come out and gone up and gone down. A lot of inflammation. The nucleus, when it enters the spinal canal through the annulus, creates a lot of inflammation. The body reacts at a very high level of inflammation. You get a lot of pain in the back, in the nerve, and in the spinal cord. Came in to see us. Severe problem. He couldn't even stand up. He was stuck, flexed forward. Came in to see us, put him in the program, got better. He was actually, before he came in to see us, he was going to get surgery. Came in to see us, got better. Obviously no need for surgery. He was actually going to go get the surgery, came in to see us, didn't get the surgery. What's the lesson? Massive herniated discs get better. Now, his took 83 treatments. Went away. It takes time. The patients that don't get better are the ones that quit. Okay, these are the lessons. We did a study that's going to be published soon. It's in review with a major medical journal with 1,200 patients. And we had the ability to analyze all the information. And uniquely, this information told us a story that maybe we didn't quite expect. Maybe we expected it, but we didn't validate it until we saw all the numbers. Put all the numbers in the databases, crunched them up, looked at them. What did it say? What we found was the longer you had the problem, which kind of makes sense, and the higher your level of disability, meaning the more trouble it caused you, the longer you had it and the more disabled you were as a result of it, caused complete breakdown of the tissues and weakness of the muscles, a lot of inflammation. It took longer. Patients with an oswestry disability index of over 60, which means you're over 60% disabled, which is a severe disability. On average, they had their back problems for 101 months. It took them 40 treatments. Same herniated disc patient with an oswestry disability index under 30 had, for a less amount of time, 70 months. Took them 30 treatments. So what we found was it correlated pretty specifically with the level of disability and the length of time that you had the problem as to how long it took. Okay, we kind of knew because it took a long time, but the numbers validated it. That's going to be published pretty soon. Well, it's in review. So the key is if you do the right thing. Now, some people can't come into our clinics. These discs can get better if you do the right thing. And one of the reasons patients don't get better is because they do the wrong thing. We've talked about this. That was the theme for the last 2 weeks. Don't do the wrong thing. Sometimes you're doing what somebody told you to do, a physical therapist, a chiropractor, your medical doctor, your surgeon. You're doing what they told you to do, and you're getting worse. Because there's a right way and a wrong way, and everybody is different. Not everybody's the same. If you do the program and you do the right thing, it gets better. That's the lesson of the day. They go away, but they take time. They can ruin your life, and you don't want your life ruined because of a herniated disc. They can go away. So, I want you to like this video. Give me the thumbs up, right? Subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Why? Because we got to save the planet from back pain. Share this with people who don't know what we do. Some people have no concept of what we do, and then ask questions. I know there's a couple questions I have to get to, but ask the questions. All right? If you want to come in and see us, call this number, 888-959-6816. And we can schedule a consultation. Review your MRI. We'll talk about it. So if you have a disc problem, you do not need to live with it. We have a way out. That's it. Be careful, be safe, and goodbye. Good night.